Welcome back to the channel Coin Dealer, and thank you for joining us in today's fascinating deep dive, where we uncover the unbelievable story of a 2010 1-cent penny that has been reported and rumored by collectors to carry a staggering potential value of up to $80 million, far beyond its 1-cent face value, due to a combination of extraordinary mint errors, rare production anomalies, and the unique circumstances that make some coins astronomically more desirable than others in the numismatic world. And as wild as that sounds, coins like these are not just myth or fantasy, because in the world of coin collecting, a simple penny struck in the right moment, with the wrong detail, in the wrong alignment, or with an accidental variation from the US Mint can turn into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And the 2010 penny is one of those coins that captivates collectors because of the Denver Mint's known history of occasional striking errors and mint mark inconsistencies, which can produce rarity, and rarity is the fuel that ignites massive collector demand, and demand is exactly what transforms a coin from pocket change into a jaw-dropping multi-million-dollar artifact, especially when a specimen shows extreme or one-of-a-kind mistakes such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, missing letters, planchet flaws, or mispunched mint marks that dramatically separate it from the hundreds of millions of ordinary pennies produced in that year. And when a coin demonstrates a combination of errors, especially those involving the mint mark or die misalignment, its value multiplies exponentially, because collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, mystery, and the thrill of owning something no one else on earth can duplicate. And the 2010 penny in question is said to include one of the most dramatic possibilities, such as a misplaced mint mark that appears shifted, doubled, or punched in the wrong position, creating a visual mistake that should never have left the mint. And when such an error escapes the strict quality control process, the coin becomes an instant anomaly. But the story doesn't stop there, because coins with layered errors, including doubled inscriptions, distorted Lincoln profiles, die cracks, missing elements of the shield design, or evidence of multiple strikes, can create a catalog of uniqueness that pushes collectors into competitive bidding frenzies. And when a coin is authenticated, graded at a high level, and proven to be one of the rarest examples of its kind, auction houses can witness history making prices that shatter expectations, which is why rumor and speculation of a single 2010 penny reaching values around $80 million continues to ignite curiosity. And while most 2010 pennies are worth only their face value, maybe a few cents in circulated condition, the possibility that an extremely rare specimen with dramatic errors might exist keeps collectors searching through rolls, jars, drawers, and inherited change piles with excitement, because the ongoing thrill of discovery is a huge part of coin collecting culture. And in a hobby where a 1943 copper penny once sold for over $1 million and a 1794 silver dollar sold for over $10 million, the idea of a monumental price tag is not far-fetched, because every era and every mint run carries the possibility of a hidden outlier. And so the 2010 penny becomes a modern treasure hunt, an example of how tiny imperfections can lead to astronomical worth, and how a mint mistake can turn a coin into a legend. And that is why collectors study details with magnifiers, check the thickness of lettering, compare the distance between mint marks, search for doubling in the motto, inspect the lines of the shield, and look for die clashes and off-center impressions, because any of these traits can create the type of rarity that breaks records. And even though only a microscopic fraction of coins become this valuable, the very chance that a common pocket penny could secretly be worth more than a luxury mansion continues to inspire curiosity. And so as we explore this phenomenon, remember that the world of numismatics rewards knowledge, patience, persistence, and a willingness to look closely, because sometimes the smallest object holds the biggest surprise. And the story of the 2010 penny is a perfect reminder that treasure does not always glitter in gold or silver, sometimes it hides in plain sight as a weathered copper-plated coin in the palm of your hand, waiting for the right person to notice what countless others overlooked. And that possibility alone is what keeps the legend of the $80 million penny alive. We dive into the incredible story of a simple 1-cent 1994 penny that some collectors believe could be worth up to $14 million, an unbelievable leap from its tiny face value and a topic that has captured the attention of coin enthusiasts. treasure hunters and curious minds around the world, and in this video we will explore what makes an ordinary-looking coin so astonishingly valuable. Why serious collectors are willing to pay fortunes for error coins, and how certain mistakes, minting anomalies and mysterious possibilities have made the 1994 D penny one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic history, turning what many would overlook in pocket change into a dream find capable of altering someone's life forever. Because when it comes to rare coins, small details make a massive difference, and the 1994 D penny is a perfect example of how a tiny error can unlock enormous value. And this story begins at the Denver Mint, which produced millions of pennies in 1994, each intended to be an ordinary Lincoln cent made from copper-plated zinc with the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial reverse. But within those millions, it is believed that only a tiny number contained highly unusual minting errors that slipped through quality control and eventually entered circulation, creating an object of extreme rarity and desire. And collectors know that rarity is one of the most powerful forces in determining a coin's value because when a coin exists in only one or a handful of examples, it becomes a legendary prize, especially if the error is dramatic, mysterious, or visually striking. And in the case of the 1994 D penny, reports suggest errors such as a possible double die strike, off-center design, wrong planchet mistakes, metal composition anomalies, and even questions surrounding the mint mark itself, with some theories suggesting that a misplaced or altered D mint mark could indicate unauthorized handling, experimental production, or a technician mistake that went completely unnoticed at the time. And such factors open the door to speculation, and speculation often fuels intense interest and soaring valuations, especially when no official records confirm how many such coins exist, and this secrecy or uncertainty only adds to the mystique, encouraging collectors to imagine that the coin they hold might be the one miraculous survivor worth a staggering fortune, because in numismatics, mystery is as powerful as metal. And another reason this coin is believed to command such enormous value is that major mint errors from the 1990s are much rarer compared to earlier eras, since modern mints rely on advanced technology and stricter quality controls, making severe mistakes extremely uncommon. So when a major unexplained error does surface, it becomes a modern treasure. And the 1994 D penny stands out as a coin from a period when errors were supposed to be nearly impossible, raising questions about how it happened and whether human oversight, machine malfunction, or unusual circumstances created it, and that mystery invites debate, curiosity, and intense competition among high-end collectors, which drives the price even higher. And when collectors compete for a one-of-a-kind coin, the final price is no longer tied to metal or face value but instead to prestige, bragging rights, and the thrill of owning something no one else on earth has. And this is why stories circulate of rare pennies reaching auction prices in the millions, because collectors at the top level view these coins like fine art, historical artifacts, or trophies that represent not just currency, but moments frozen in time that will never repeat. And in this way, the 1994 D penny becomes far more than 1 cent, becoming a physical mystery with immense emotional and historical weight. And there is also the dream factor that fuels attention, because the idea that anyone could stumble across one of these coins in pocket change, at a yard sale, in an attic jar, or inside an inherited collection makes the story irresistible, inspiring countless people to look closer at the coins they once ignored. And this treasure hunt mentality spreads fast, making headlines, YouTube videos, online discussions, and collector forums buzz with excitement, which further boosts perception, demand, and potential value. And while not every 1994 D penny is special, the possibility that a rare mint era version could exist and be worth an unbelievable amount keeps the legend alive and encourages people to search, research, and learn about numismatics. And that curiosity is part of why coin collecting has grown for generations, as each coin carries a story, and some stories, like this one, are worth millions. And as we continue this journey, remember that the world of rare coins often blurs the line between fact and fascination. But one thing remains true: the right error on the right coin can transform a humble penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure, and the 1994 D penny serves as a shining example of how mistakes, mint mark mysteries and rarity can create unimaginable value from something almost everyone overlooks every day. So stay curious, keep exploring your change, and never underestimate what might be hiding in plain sight. One of the most unbelievable numismatic stories ever discussed, the idea that a humble 1985 1-cent penny, a coin most people would ignore on the sidewalk, could be worth a jaw-dropping $47 million, not because of its face value, which is obviously only a single cent, but because of rare mint errors, strange production anomalies, and the almost myth-like possibilities that make collectors lose their minds and open their wallets. At first glance, the 1985 penny doesn't look like anything special, as it belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, made of copper-plated zinc, produced in the billions, and normally worth no more than a penny, maybe a tiny bit more for a pristine uncirculated example, but hidden among those countless coins are a few error versions that became legends. What transforms a worthless coin into a collectible treasure is the fact that sometimes minting machines used in places like Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco make mistakes, and those mistakes aren't always caught. So a coin that slips through with the wrong metal composition, a wrong mint mark, a doubled design, a missing detail, or even a misaligned strike becomes instantly desirable. Now, imagine a 1985 penny struck accidentally on an old leftover copper planchet from 1982 instead of the zinc planchets used after that year. Copper versions from later dates are already worth thousands because they shouldn't exist, and a verified 1985 version could spark a bidding war that sends prices into fantasy territory. Add to that the possibility of a mint mark error, such as a misplaced E or S, or a repunched mint mark that shows doubling under magnification, along with additional flaws like an off-center strike or a dramatic doubled die where the date, lettering, or Lincoln's profile appears doubled, and the value could shoot up beyond reason, especially if there's only one known piece. Rarity fuels the numismatic market, and when rarity is combined with mystery, hype, and a coin that is believed to be unique, it becomes the numismatic equivalent of a winning lottery ticket. Collectors obsess over error coins because they represent moments in history where human oversight or mechanical malfunction created accidental artwork, and the idea of a 1985 penny hitting a $47 million valuation would come from a situation in which a unique specimen is discovered, authenticated, and validated as the only one of its kind on Earth. If that same coin also had perfect preservation, graded at the highest possible level by a top grading service, the story grows even wilder. Picture a 1-cent coin that not only has a mint error but also has deep historical curiosity, perhaps a transitional strike, a mint mark mistake, and a flawed die that left visible distortions on the coin, while being in a mint state condition with full original luster, free of scratches or handling wear. Once such a coin hits the auction world, collectors with deep pockets compete, each one wanting to own the one error coin that no other collector can ever possess, and that's how sky-high valuations are born. Auction drama often pushes rare coins far past any logical price point, turning a tiny cent into a cultural sensation, fueled by numismatic buzz, wealthy bidders, and media excitement. Even though the average 1985 penny will never be worth more than a cent, the idea that a rare mint error version exists keeps collectors searching through coin rolls, jar collections, pocket change, and estate finds, hoping lightning will strike. The thrill is in the possibility. Maybe the coin is off metal, maybe it has a hidden double die that no one has noticed, or maybe it contains a misplaced mint mark or a planchet flaw from an experimental batch. As long as rare errors exist in coin history, people will keep dreaming, and stories like a $47 million 1985 penny will continue to stir up excitement and curiosity, inspiring treasure hunters to take one more look at overlooked coins, reminding everyone that sometimes the smallest objects hold the biggest surprises.